Welcome to Jollof and Fiction, home of African literature and stories, the kind that warm your hearts like a fresh pot of jollof. Today, you're tuning into a recorded session of our online book discussion, so sit back, relax, and join the conversation.
Please kindly indicate that you can hear me before I continue. Okay, thank you everyone. All right, okay. So today we are going to be reviewing an article called When Life Pressed Pause. And it's written by Rachael Ajisafe. I believe I pronounced that correctly. So yeah, Rachael Ajisafe. So without wasting much of our time, I would like to go straight to my very first question for today. So I think reading this article actually made me pause and try to remember what the lockdown looked like, because the story, or the article rather, is about the lockdown period. And this was not a region-based problem. It was the whole world. Everybody in the world experienced the COVID-19 lockdown. And I know that from different parts of the world, everybody had their own experiences of what that moment looked like. So it actually made me pause and try to remember what it felt like, how it was, and everything before even reading the article. And then while I read it, I realized that I had similar experiences from what we also had. So I'll go right to my very first question. They also mentioned something about, appreciating the break at first before it turned into days became weeks. Initially, it was something we did not know what to expect from. But as time went on, it was something everybody prayed to come out from, because the times are not good and smiling. So over to my first question for tonight. So my first question for today is this: what is the one moment from lockdown that still feels unfinished for you? What is the one moment from lockdown that still feels unfinished for you? I would like to hear your thoughts first before I comment. So if anyone has anything to say, kindly raise your hands and I would like to hear from you. So does anyone of you have anything to say? Or I'm going to call out people randomly. Okay, so something to say. So while Light is speaking, I'm going to look for people I'm going to call. All right, so Light, let's hear from you first.
Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday. Please confirm that you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you. Please proceed.
Okay. All right. So, for me, one of the things that feels unfinished, that will forever feel unfinished for me, is the fact that I didn't get to say goodbye to my grandma. During the lockdown, we couldn't travel as such, and she was at the home for the elderly. And I'd look forward to seeing her. I had to leave where I was in a hurry. Everybody left everywhere in a hurry. We came back home because they were elderly. We're not permitted to go and visit them like we usually would have loved to. And I was counting down the days till I had to see her. And then when the call came to come and see her, I was not feeling so strong. I was ill, so I couldn't go anywhere. And then the rest of my family, they went, they saw her, gisted a little bit. And I think either that night or the next day, she went into a coma and she never recovered. And that's how I lost my grandmother and I didn't say goodbye. Until now, it still makes me feel a certain way. But yeah, that's it.
Oh my God. Oh my, that's so sad. That's actually this is a real life unfinished business. I can imagine how you feel. I'm so sorry about that, Light. Wow. I'm so sorry about that. Okay. I can imagine what it feels like, having someone you love you'd like to see, and then circumstances or situations prevent it, and then when you're eventually ready to do that, the person is no more there. That can be very heartbreaking. I'm sorry to do that. All right. So, just to bring our minds back to what we are reading about, like I said, it's a short story recounting the COVID-19 pandemic, how life was, and the article was based in Nigeria. So the author was describing what it felt like at that point, how schools closed, how they went into an unwanted holiday, even though at first it felt like relief. But along the line, everything paused. More families had to survive, shops had to close, so many necessities, could not be bought anymore because people had to be forced to live a certain way. So this is what the article is about. I'm just trying to bring your mind back to it a little bit so that you can remember, to refresh your memory on what you read. So moving on, I'd like to call on Nabas. Nabas, I saw your hands raised. So Nabas, do you have anything to tell us about one unfinished business you had with during the pandemic? Something you felt feels unfinished.
Okay, no, sorry, I wanted to give my general overview of the piece. I don't know
Sorry?
if that. I said I wanted to give my general overview of the piece. I don't know if that was asked. You mentioned it
All
was
right,
asked
all right.
before.
Okay, you can go
Right
ahead.
here. Okay. I think reading this piece, can you all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, reading this piece, I just sort of realized that COVID was like a leveler for everybody. Whatever level you were at or phase of your life you were, it affected you one way or the other. Because this is from the eyes of a teenager who is in JS3, but then I still saw part of myself in it. So, which meant that to some extent, people from different age groups they experience almost the same thing. That feeling of waiting for something to happen. I mean, you can tell this person is just in school, like, but then I think I was on campus then my second year, I think third year, I can't remember, second year, second or third. I can't quite remember, but I almost can relate to everything the narrator is saying. So I think it just made me realize that COVID was that year for everybody. Whatever level you were, whatever point you were in your life, whatever phase you were in, you experienced it in probably not as intense as someone else, but you were experiencing something. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Nabas. Actually, COVID was that year for everybody. And I think I mentioned earlier that while reading this piece, I could see similarities of what I went through, even though we were in different parts of the country. So, and I believe that worldwide, other people had things they looked forward to as well. Maybe the system in those other countries allowed them some basic amenities, but I paused to realize, to remember how a lot of people suffered during that period. So honestly, it was that year for everybody, like you said. Okay, so moving on. I'd like to hear from Inyo Bong, and then I would hear from someone from our Ghanaian community. So Ini, let's kindly hear from you very quickly.
Yeah, well, good evening.
Uh,
Hope you can hear me. Can you hear me?
yes, we can.
Okay, I'm good. What I missed from COVID was baking. I was baking, but not at first. I was actually at home for a long time because I was supposed to start school like uni then. I got accepted into uni then, but we didn't start to like the next year because of COVID and then because of strike too, because I remember it was strike that day. And I got bored in the house. I told my mom I wanted to do something that is not leaving the house. And she was like, okay. She connected me with her friend who did, and I did apprenticeship from her. So I kind of use that. I use that. I use taking selling things. And I also miss, I think it was really a ridiculous time. It was serious, yes. It was a serious challenge, but I don't think I experienced it serious. Because I remember his, like, there was this news for the government holding the COVID palliative care that was meant for Nigerians. So I think I remember that it was
Okay, can you speak up a little bit so that we can hear you more? Like your voice is a little bit low, and your network is a bit bad. But I think if you increase your voice, we might be able to hear you a little bit better.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
I miss baking,
Okay,
and
that's
I also found COVID to be ridiculous because I don't know, Nigerians didn't take it serious. It was serious worldwide. Like people were really legitimately dying. But Nigerians didn't take it serious. Because I remember seeing news of Nigerian government holding palliative care that was meant for us Nigerians. I just found it really ridiculous. Like, what? This country? Okay.
okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. It's so funny how you reminded me something that I had absolutely forgotten. I mean, I just remembered this palliative part where people even had to vandalize. Anyway, let me not go into that. Maybe later. I don't want to. I don't want to spoil anything. Okay, so I said I wanted to hear from one more person from the Ghanaian community. Okay, Betsy, can we hear from you? What was something that felt unfinished? Like what's one moment from the lockdown still feels unfinished for you? So Betsy, hear from you. Hi Betsy, can you hear me? Oh, Betty is Nigerian. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay, someone raised his hand. Sally's hand is raised. Okay, Sally, let's hear from you.
Okay, hello. Please, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes. So, for me, even though it's not as deep as the others, right? One
Yeah.
moment from the lockdown, in fact, the whole COVID season, that really feels incomplete to me is I graduated during that period, and I had no graduation ceremony, nothing of that sort. So we just had to go back to school, pick up our certificates, and just move on.
Oh
And
my.
anytime I see like people graduating, their pictures with their parents and stuff, I just feel like, hey, so me, I didn't graduate and I'm having a degree. So yeah, that's mine. So it still feels unfinished, even though I have the degree.
Absolutely, I agree with you. It does. If that happened to me, I think I would cry. So your feelings are very valid. It does. It feels very unfinished. I mean, that was so not good. I'm so sorry that happened. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. All right, it would have been better if you at least had your graduation and then you chose not to attend. Like, do you get? You choose, okay, I'm not going to attend, but this time around, you didn't even have that choice. It wasn't your choice to make, and it just happened. Sorry about that. Okay, and it's not something small. You have every right to feel the way you do. All right, so moving forward, I'd like to go over to the next question we have for today. So my second question for today is, how did the lockdown feel for you? Like, this is a very interesting question. Did the lockdown feel like a break for you or a disruption you never fully recovered from? So, what was it like for you? For me, it felt different. It was so many things. I'll go first. So, while I wait for others to raise their hands. So, for me, the lockdown actually felt different. And at first, when I was reading the article, when I was reading the article, the guy mentioned that
No, I'm
again.
crying when I want to sleep. Sit down.
Sorry, whose mic is on? Please, can you
Inebo, I
kindly?
think your mic is on. Inebo.
Sorry.
All right, thank you. So I was saying that the author mentioned something. He said at first it felt like, they were happy, they were going on break. He was about to write his basic exam. He was so happy, but eventually, was it a she or he? Sorry, she. It was a she. So she was happy initially, and before you knew it, transition into something else. So that was also how I felt, because at that moment I was in third year and we started our year abroad program. So before you knew it started with COVID, and then it entered into strike, and I was happy initially. I said, okay, let's rest 1 or 2 months. Boom, it was a year. Because after COVID, it stretched into Nigerian universities continued with the strike. So it stretched into 1 full year. So 1 full academic year was lost. So I think it was something that really got disrupted my timeline of graduation. And later on, we ended up having another strike that lasted close to 8 months that also caused another academic year to be lost. So literally, instead of 4 years, I spent like nearly 6 years in school. So I mean, yes, it's something I've never really recovered from because when I think of it, I feel like I could have graduated early, but at the same time, I don't know where I would have been by now. So yeah, it's what I still feel. So I'd like to hear from someone else. Charlie, hi, can you hear me? Some hands are raised. Let's hear from Charlie first, then I can go over to those that raised their hands. Charlie, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Good evening.
So, is there something? How did the lockdown feel for you? Did it feel like a break, or did it feel like a disruption of something you've never fully recovered from?
It felt like a destruction, but then first it felt like shock at the beginning. So
Yeah,
prior to the lockdown, my friend and I were discussing, and we were like, "There is no way COVID can come to Nigeria. That how can it? It dares not. You know that confidence that we Nigerians usually have."
yeah,
And then we had that conversation just on Friday, and I think the lockdown was announced by Monday. Like I literally called down the phone and we were just crying, like, what is going on? Everywhere was just quiet. People had to go to supermarkets to get essentials that they needed, and then there was no tissue paper. It was not a good experience for me, really. And then I had my nieces and nephews in the house because everybody has to be at home.
yeah.
I mean, we adjusted over time, but it wasn't really a pleasant experience at the beginning. But I am someone who likes to be at home all the time, right? So, hmm,
But then it became too
yes,
much. All right,
yes,
thank
it
you so
became.
much, Charlie. Thank you for your contribution. Okay, so Masoma, your hand is raised. So let's hear from you quickly, and then we'll go over to the next person.
Okay, good evening, everybody. We can hear me, right?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So, lockdown. When the lockdown started, I just got admission. Yeah,
Mm,
so I went to school. I left house and I was feeling okay. I'm free, and then I was still basking in the euphoria of independence. And then all of a sudden, they say everybody should be going lockdown, no movement, everything. Ha! These people cut short my independence, and then I was now at home. And I was like, Sha, let me just relax more. All this running around, pay for this, pay for that. Judith knows palm size now. That hot sun that is scorching you at the back of your head. I was like, okay, let me just relax and stuff. And then, in the beginning, it was fun. But
yeah.
then, 3 weeks later, 1 month later, 2 months later, I'm like, I beg,
9 months later,
when
like
would this thing be lifted? Let somebody just go back to school. And then finally, I told my daddy that they say we can come back to school. And I ran back to school just because I wanted to be independent and enjoy my independence. But yeah, that was it. It was more of a disruption. But then at the beginning, it was fun. But as time went on, it just got tiring and all.
okay. No, thank you so much, Mesoma. I think it was a disruption for almost everybody. Anybody who says I enjoyed all the 9 months of COVID, that person should get a self check because at some point, even introverts got tired. Everybody wanted to be outside. Okay, thank you. So I would like to hear from one person from I'd like to hear from one other person I'm going to call, and then I will go back to the people who raised their hands. Okay, Felicia, are you on this call? Can you hear me? Hi, Felicia, can you hear me? Hello, Felicia, can you hear me? Okay, so she's not responding.
Hello.
So, okay. Hi.
Yeah, hello. Sorry.
So you know the question, right? You know the question I asked. I asked
Yes.
how the lockdown felt. Did it feel like a break for you, or was it a disruption of something, a disruption you never fully recovered from? So I'd like to hear your thoughts.
During the lockdown, I was in um third
Can you
year.
speak a little bit louder? Because I'm finding it difficult to hear you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
Is
I
this
can.
okay?
Yes, this
Okay.
is.
Okay. During the lockdown, I was in my final year in FHS. So I was
Okay.
about to write my WASI. And then when it happened, we were sent home for, I don't remember the month, but we were sent home for a while and then they called us back into school. So during the lockdown, it was it was just like being in school for me. The only difference was that it was only the final years that were in school. So we had to do all the work that our juniors would have done. So for me, it wasn't anything too different. So I, when people are talking about their COVID experience, I don't really have much to share because it wasn't too different for me.
All
So
right, Spencer, thank you. So I guess we all have our different experiences. For you, it was just almost normal, but for some other people, it was a lot more. Can you kindly mute your mic now? Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so someone else raised it. I think it's Barnabas, right? Or was it Johnson? Let me kindly take a look. Okay, Johnson. So, Johnson, quickly, you tell us how the lockdown, what it was for you, if it was a break for you or a disruption you never fully recovered from. And after you, Barnabas will go next, and then we go right to the next question. So, let's hear from you, Johnson.
All right, good evening. Hope I'm audible though.
Yes, I can hear you. Good evening.
Okay, so you mentioned something about if someone felt like he went tired at some point, then the person might not be normal. Oh, please, I think that is a different case for me. Because
Okay.
really, then I wasn't yet in school, like university. Then I think I finished my secondary school so
Yeah.
a year or two before then, and then to get admission. But before then, I was also working before
Yeah.
into school. So that was a break for me from working in the school where I was teaching then. So it
Okay.
happened that at that point, I think I needed a soft skill. I was thinking of what I would do in my time, and I had a friend of mine who and thought about designing. I was like, "What's design?" I think I've seen all these things, flyers everywhere, and all of that, and I liked beautiful things at some point. So I just was wondering how those things were created. Can it be done on my phone, something like that? So I couldn't from him from I think I got to know about this stuff and all those skill thing that period. So I got to learn about designing at home, sitting in my house, pay 2,000 someone somewhere, 2,000 naira to someone somewhere, and how I learned how to design from scratch with my phone, and then kept going from there. So I think for me it was really I was at home, yes, but from what I read from what the lady mentioned, Ikudu is a busy environment, and then
Yeah.
Onitsha too is a busy environment. So it slowed down, yes, but it wasn't exactly like nothing was happening. Things are still happening in the city, but it was not as busy as it was
Okay.
before then. So it just became less busy. But it was a moment for me to be at home, my parents. But then I wasn't really because I was still learning something. I was going out with my friends and all those things. So nothing really changed that much, except that I stopped working for a while. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Johnson. That's like a very different perspective for me. Different. I know that some people learned different skills during COVID, like UNN, for example. So many people came back with cars. I can remember that moment. People were saying that students were beginning to compete with their lecturers, in terms of the cars parked in the car park. Because my faculty had a car park. So that faculty of arts quadrangle, when you get there after COVID, there were so many cars, student cars. People got married, people got pregnant. So many things happened during COVID. So I'm actually, it feels a little bit surprising that you said it's almost nothing different. But yet, I know some people learn skills, and that's good. I'm happy for you. It was something you could make something out of. Okay, lastly, let's hear from Barnabas before we go back to the next question.
All right,
Barnabas,
thank you very much, Olivia. I'm audible, right? You can hear me, yes?
yes, you can.
Okay, so I think it's the thing with federal universities, the fact that it's always as though we are trying to catch up and we're in a hurry, we are rushing somewhere. So when
Yeah.
COVID came, we're like, oh, thank God for the relief. We'll take a break now. And
Yeah.
then, but some of my mates were traveling home, and I didn't want to travel home. I was like, okay, this break will be short. I'll not travel home. Until I now heard that you can't travel anymore. And I said, okay, no problem. To take 1 month, 2 months, I could not travel home. 3 months, I was stuck in Suka. And I
Wow.
often tell people that I had the thought of dropping out of school three
Wow.
times. 3 times. The second time was during COVID. First time was in my first year. Second time was during COVID. Third time was in my third year. Final year, I was like, I'm already here. There's no need. Because it really drained me. I'm someone who likes doing things. Like, I like going out, achieving. I just want to do things. But if I'm not doing it, dulls my mind. I'd say I was almost losing my mind that period. I started questioning my life choices. Should I have come to school? Because I was not doing anything. I was stuck. I don't know what. If you stayed in Suka, you understand what I mean. The place is inactive when there is no school, and I was stuck in that place for 8 months. I was losing my mind. I was
Disrupted his
questioning my
networks.
life
Continue. He
decision.
comes back. He would. Okay. So now, as we stopped hearing you at some point, I think we stopped where you said you were thinking of quitting school.
Can you hear me
And
now?
yes, we can. So let me tell you where you stopped. You said you were thinking of quitting school, and the time was in your final year, so you felt like, okay, I'm already here, and then yeah, we couldn't hear from there.
Okay, yeah. So I was saying that during that time, it sort of dulled my mind. I was feeling like I was questioning my life choices, why I got into school, etc., etc. And I
Yeah.
imagine staying in that place for like 8 months. I said I almost ran mad, but and there was nobody around. It was just me, my lord. So it was that bad. That's what I have to say. That's how it was for me. It was that bad,
Yeah.
actually.
Hi. Okay. Thank you so much, Barnabas. I didn't get the last thing you said, though, but I think you said something about your lodge. Oh, he's out of the call. Or he put his hands down. Okay. So, COVID was a terrible time. So let's move on to the next question. Okay, so the next question I have is what was different about how African households handled the lockdown compared to what we saw globally? So what do you think is different? What's the difference from what you saw in the way your parents handled the lockdown issue and the way, from the way it was handled online? For me, I think it's a whole lot different. Like Charlie said, she said she did not imagine COVID was going to come to Nigeria. Obviously, when we heard of it, we were like, oh, it's white people's disease. You stop. I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to do that. Oh my God. Please cut that out. So, like, we felt it was, now the normal Nigerian mindset of we're Africans, these kind of things do not affect us. So, that was the mindset we approached it with. But before you knew it, we started hearing figures online, how people cannot travel, how it's so deadly that just someone's tiny saliva fluid can get you infected and you die. So yes. So but eventually I think it was still very different because people did not die as much as what we heard in the news. Because from what I got to see, which I wasn't there to know how true it is, but some kids got separated from their parents. Some businesses started during COVID. Some closed down. A lot of people got homeless. So it was really tough here in Africa, and it was not very the same from what we heard online. And for how it was handled in the households, I mean, it was almost similar to what the author said, buying necessities, trying to manage, learning new ways of survival. I think it was just that moment where everybody had to learn how to survive even more than we already did. So yes, it's something I think was different. I mean, maybe over there they had structures put in place to help them. I think it was during that period that China really went big on having robots deliver foods and stuff like that. Robots were delivering foods to people's doorsteps. But in Nigeria, it was very different. You had to go out, sneak out in the night or early in the morning. I think, yes, in Osuka, markets started opening earlier in the morning. So Africa, we just found a way, in Nigeria, especially in Enugu State, we have found a way to adapt. So the Enugu State government came up with a policy that the market opens from 7 to 9 a.m. So people rush to the market by 7 a.m. and by 9 a.m. they are back to their homes and all that. So yes, it was a little bit different than places where people had food delivered to them. So yeah, that's my own experience of it. So I'd like to hear from other people. So first, I'd like to hear from Benedicta. Benedicta, are you on this call? Can you hear me? Hi, Benedicta. Can you hear me? Okay, I don't know if she can hear me. If she does, eventually we'll continue from her. Um, I'd like to hear from. Okay, Amarachi. Hi, can you hear me, Amarachi?
Hi. Yeah, I can hear you. Hi, good evening.
All right, good
I'm
evening. So,
audible enough.
yes, you are very audible. So, you got the question I asked, right? What was different about how African households handled the lockdown compared to what we saw globally?
Um, I wouldn't actually say things were like so different from me, like for my house, for in my house, right? I'm not exactly. I wouldn't say things were that different, except at some point having to like manage, like except that managing a lot. Because I remember that my parents at that time, since everyone had to be like stuck at home and all of that, I think they had like because they weren't not going to work. It was like I don't know. I think they had to like slash their salaries, so finances were like not all that at that time. So I remember having to manage and all of that, but it wasn't all that bad because I remember that at some point we could still step out for some time to get certain things or around us, like in our environments and the streets and all. So we could step out to get little things too. So it wasn't all that bad because eventually when it was all done and everybody could like go back to being normal. We just continued, like, just picked up like as if nothing happened. Actually, if I'm being honest, it wasn't all that different like that for me.
Okay, can I ask you what part of the country you were then?
I was in Lagos. I had just beaten jam at that time.
Okay. I think that makes sense too. All right. Thank you, Amarachi. Because it was quite different
Yeah.
from what we experienced here back in the East. I mean, it was crazy. So, yeah, I think the part of the country where you Thank you so
All
much. You
right.
can the mic now. Thank you.
Maybe. All right.
All
Thank
right.
you.
So, I would like to hear from Anita. Anita, your hand is up. So, I'd like to hear from you and Light after that. Hi,
Okay, hi
Anita.
everyone, good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, so first I'd like to confirm the question was what was the difference in the attitudes that we saw in foreign countries compared to Nigeria, right?
Yeah, what was different from the way African households handled the lockdown compared to what we saw globally?
Okay, so I feel again I have to preface this by saying that I didn't have a lot of contact with like the outside world during that period. I was using like a really tiny phone that didn't have internet access, and I did not like watching the news, right? But if there's one thing that I noticed difference in, it was mostly the attitude towards treatment, belief in COVID, and then general behaviors of people, right? So I noticed that first of all there was a
Get that. It was what?
hello.
Treatment. You said something. I didn't get what you said. You said it was treatment and you said something else.
Okay, so I said the things I mostly noticed was the general attitude towards treatment, a belief in the
Okay.
existence of COVID, and
Okay.
yeah, and I don't remember the third thing I said it anymore. But like, first of all, I noticed that most people didn't even believe in COVID, right? Because
Yeah.
nobody actually, at least where I live, nobody actually knew someone who had COVID, but you knew of someone that had COVID. So it's not like, oh, our neighbor had COVID. No, our neighbor has a cousin in Ibadan who friend in Lagos who had COVID. So there was a lot of like what we call it, conspiracy theories that oh COVID isn't real, it's a manufactured disease, blah 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 blah. Right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then economic side to be they were vaccines obviously, but everybody's like, oh no, they're taking vaccines to kill us, blah blah blah. So they would rather like take ginger. So the very popular one I heard that time was, oh, if you take ginger, very very peppy pepper soup, it will kill all the COVID in your body. You don't need to take vaccine. This vaccine is fake. And in foreign countries taking these vaccines, right, and they were going back to work, their life they were resuming, you were still on lockdown because of this very interesting mentality that was going on here.
Yeah.
And like it was so very, very slow to adopt change. That was one of the main differences I saw like between home and abroad. And it was so fascinating because they spent so much time like on conspiracy theories. And when help finally came, everybody was like reluctant. I even knew some people who like ate their COVID vaccination seal. So they would find someone and pay them to like give them the seal, but they don't actually get the vaccine. And I kept looking at them like, you think an entire country stopped its processes just for some fake disease that doesn't exist? That's very, very fascinating. So that was like one of the main differences I noticed between home and abroad.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. Hearing you speak reminded me of some things too. You said something about taking something very hot like ginger. Nigerians are very interesting people, I tell you. I don't know if that extends to other parts of Africa, but you see, Nigerians, we are very, very interesting. Because tell me why Nigerians are so interesting.
Sorry, we're not hearing you at some point. Okay, we can't hear Olivia. I think she has logged out of the network. Okay, till she comes online, can you guys hear me? Am I audible enough? All right, till she comes online, I'd like to ask the next question. One of which is I'm not sure if she has asked this, but do you think the lockdown experience in Nigeria or your country was more about survival than safety? So I'd just like to hear your thoughts on that. Do you think the lockdown experience in Nigeria or your country was more about survival than safety? I'm going to paste that in the chat box. This is your general overview of your opinion.
I'm back.
Olivia is back. Sorry, Olivia, we're not hearing at some point.
Yes, sorry. It was just empty and being empty, and sorry about that. So I got logged out at some point. Sorry about that. Okay, yes. So the question I wanted to hear from Betty, but since we've moved on to the next question, let's just go forward. So, yes. So the next question is: do you think the lockdown experience in Nigeria or your country was more about survival than safety? So I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. Was it more about survival? I think it was more about terrorizing poor people because I have instances I can give. So, but before I call those who raised their hands, I would like to hear from Betty because I called her initially, but then I didn't get to hear from her. So, Betty, are you on this call? Betty, can you hear me? Okay, I think. Okay, she said she cannot. Okay, that's fine. I think ladies have been speaking more, so I'd like to call on a guy this time around. Okay, so I'm sorry if I pronounce your name wrongly. Let me just call the short form Odu. Odu. Can you hear me? I'm so sorry. I'm not sure I'm getting it right, but if Odurombi can hear me, you are the one I'm calling. Thank you. Can you hear me? Odu. Hello. Okay, I think he's probably not available because he's not speaking. I'm sorry, I might be pronouncing your name. Okay, David. David. Hi, David. Can you hear me? Hello. Okay, David is probably not available. Okay, let's move on. Nicholas. Hello, Nicholas. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. So you the question, right? It's on the chat box, but I can go over it again. It says, do you think the lockdown experience in Nigeria or your country was more about survival than safety? So what's your opinion on that?
Um,
Hi. Okay.
I don't know the angle of the question, but on a personal level, it was about more about survival than safety.
Okay.
Yeah, because unlike several other countries I am aware of,
Yeah.
where there were policies that were being made to support the citizens during that COVID
Yeah.
period. We had in the US, we had what they call it now. That's what they called it there in the US. Benefits, I
Okay.
think. And some other countries made other plans for their citizens. In Nigeria, nothing of the sort. I think it was 2 months or even after COVID that some of us citizens started hearing of palliatives and all
That was
that were
hoarded.
being provided. Yes. Some of us didn't even hear about palliatives at all until months after COVID.
Yeah.
So there were jobs. People lost their jobs. I mean, they may not have lost it, but there was no payment. No payment was coming from their jobs because they were not working, and they had to like feed from hand to mouth. Things started getting expensive. So many things started getting expensive. No help from the government. So it was more about survival. Nigerians, if so some of us, what will kill us? Let it come and kill us as long as we go out there and get something to eat. So
Yeah.
many people, I've been to many events where people do not care about hand sanitizing or covering their faces because the event had the promise of bringing food to their mouths. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's more about survival than
Okay.
safety.
All right. Thank you so much, Nicholas. So this is from a Nigerian perspective because yeah, in my opinion, I think it was more about safety. Sorry, survival too. Because people went hungry. People died more of hunger than COVID. I don't think anybody died of COVID in Nigeria. So, but then I'd like to hear from someone from the Ghanaian community. So, what was it like for you? The only person I can see currently on this call is Marcia. Is she part of the Ghanaian community? I'm sorry, I'm yet to know all of you. So pardon me if I make any mistakes. Okay, yes, she's from there. All right, so Marcia, can we hear from you? What was it like in Ghana? Was it more of survival than safety? I mean, how did you feel being where you were at that point? Hello.
Hello, hi. Can
Hi.
everybody hear me?
Yes, I can.
Because here in Ghana, to me, I don't know, I feel like it was more about safety because the government put quite some measures in for the Ghanaian communities.
Yeah.
So to me, I feel like it was more of safety, but other people might feel different about it. But personally, I feel like it was about safety. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so it was more of safety for you. Wanted to be safe than. All right. Thank you so much, Marcia. Okay, so let me hear from Sally. Let's hear from Sally and then we can ask other people. Sally, let's hear from you.
So, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
All right. So in Ghana, in the big cities, it was more of survival,
Okay.
but in the smaller towns, it
Mm-hmm.
was more like just trying to be safe. Because
Okay.
in the cities, people who work on a day-to-day basis, or people who are paid on a day-to-day basis, had to come out, try to get food, and the government also had interventions where food was being given out.
Okay.
But then, in more like the rural towns and rural cities, sort of, there was always this abundance of food.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like too much because the people already have food. And for those who don't have food, some are into farming and stuff. But in the cities, they really felt it.
Yeah.
That's why I saw.
Oh, thank you so much, Sally. I think I generally think that everywhere it was almost the same. People in the cities felt the heat more. Because I'm even thinking back now, I'm trying to imagine what COVID could have been like in my village. I mean, almost everybody, not almost, everybody living in my village is a farmer. You own a farmland, you have farmlands. So who is going to stop you from buying food? Even if you can't buy, you cultivate it yourself and you eat. But people in the cities, they starved. Like it was so bad. It was really, really bad. Okay, so two more people have their hands raised, and that's Mesoma and Ini. So quickly, just tell us what it was like, and then we can move over to the next question. So the last thing we have for tonight. So Mesoma should go first, then after Mesoma, Ini.
Okay, so I don't think it was for safety or anything or survival. I just feel like um the lockdown experience was out of, I didn't really have any choice. I
Yeah,
say that because a typical Nigerian is a hustler, right? But when they now put the lockdown in place, if you notice that during the lockdown, people tried to like go out and make money, get food and stuff, but it
yeah,
wasn't really possible. So it was more of, I don't have a choice. Like, it's not like I don't want to be safe, it's not like I don't
mm-hmm.
want to survive, but how do I stay safe and how do I stay survive when the means of staying safe and surviving is out there? So
Yeah,
even in the news, when we are seeing figures rising, figures falling, our main concern was just how to
eight.
survive anyway at the end of the day. So it was mostly, I don't really have a choice.
Yeah, actually, a lot of people from PH, from what I heard from those in PH, I think that time Wike was really hot on people. I don't know, but I don't know if anyone here stayed in PH at that time. But Wike was really hot on people. I remember there was this video of I just remember something very funny. Sorry. There was this video of an elephant pursuing a small car. So the car was trying to, like, they were moving towards the direction of the elephant, and then the elephant just came out from the bush and was pursuing them. So the driver was reversed. The driver was trying to go back, and then the elephant was just coming aggressively at them, and then they put this soundtrack saying "We can they come." I'm so sorry. It's just so funny. So Wike they come Wike. So because Wike was really pursuing everybody in Port Harcourt then, and it was very terrible. I mean, people couldn't come outside. I heard police and the army were harassing people. Imagine people who sold pure water for a living. Imagine that. That's like something very common in Nsukka. So imagine people who sold pure water, bottled waters on expressway being asked not to leave their houses. And guess what? The government did not do anything about it. So it was more of survival. People wanted to eat. People were hungry. And then there was a palliative issue. They hid it. In Enugu State, we never discovered our palliative till today. Some places eventually discovered where theirs was kept and it got vandalized. So people even started vandalizing stores like ShopRites and all. So I heard, though I was not there in any of them. So really, really, it was so bad. It was really bad. So Ini, let's hear from you lastly. Hi,
To
Ini.
sum it, I can hear you. To sum it all up, it was all about survival in Nigeria. God, our government is wicked, because why are you calling palliative for people?
And then asking them to stay at home.
Yes, like, it was just, when that video came out, I was laughing. At the same time, I was sad, because why? What did we do to them in government? What? God, the ridiculousness in this country. Yeah. It was all about survival. People were hungry. People were starving. Shops, most shops were closed. And it was really hard to find food. There was a rising prices in some, because it was really about survival. That's all I have to say. Sorry.
All right, thank you so much, Ini. It was actually about survival. I don't think there is, it's just about survival. People wanted to eat. People were hungry. I think someone said something in the chat box. It was Johnson. He said his dad always said food will not be used as a means of punishment. It was used as a means of punishment because I don't understand how they wanted you to be in your house. Like these government people, they don't think, but it's fine. It's actually okay. I don't want to start ranting unnecessarily. All right. So, lastly, I would like to ask something. I would like to hear from one person from the Ghanaian community, at most two, and then from Nigeria. Just something I would like to ask at the very end. Okay, so I want you to share your lockdown. Sorry, hold on. I would like you to share what the lockdown was for you personally. I know we've mentioned some of the things that happened. Oh, we couldn't go to school and everything. But inside your house, what did it feel like? What are the things that is not visible to everybody else, but you silently went through during the lockdown? So I'd like to hear from one or two people, and then we'll call it a night. So from the Ghanaian communities, anybody? And I'm not sure. So Sally, you've been very active today on this call. So I'd like to hear from you, Sally. What can you just share what the lockdown was like for you, aside the not graduating? What was staying at home like? Did you do a lot of house chores? Did you get depressed? I wouldn't be surprised if you did because it was really tough. So let's hear from you quickly before the call ends.
All right. So for me, it was more of a rekindling of my passion for reading because I used to read more when I was younger,
Okay.
right? Like libraries and stuff. But then with COVID and a lot of time on my hands, I was just mostly indoors
Okay.
reading. Yes. And I managed to use that to get out of the household chores. So when they call me, I'll tell them that I'm reading. So they'll send my younger siblings.
Wow. Really very interesting. You cannot try that in Nigeria. Like how would your mom send you on an errand and you tell her, "Oh, mommy, I'm reading. Reading what?" Absolutely impossible. Absolutely impossible. All right, so let's hear from David. Let's hear from David. David has his hand raised, so let's hear from you.
Good evening, everyone.
Hi,
Can
good
you hear
evening.
me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, for me, the lockdown period was a terrible experience for me.
Oh, sorry about that.
Definitely the lockdown experience because that was moment the period I lost my mom. So before it was just a breeze, just indoors, church activities were indoors, no going out, no partying, nothing at all. And I even did admission, so I was going for lessons then. And
Yeah.
then the city then and I lost my mom.
Oh
And
my.
after that, I felt sick for a long period of time. And it was just a good experience, actually.
Oh, I'm so sorry about your loss, David. I'm so sorry about that. Sorry about your mom
Thank you
and
very
your family. I hope you are able to pursue that eventually. I'm so sorry about that. Okay,
Thank you.
so oh my god, I feel so sad right now. I'm so sorry, David. I'm so sorry you had to go through that. Imagine losing someone in the midst of that entire chaos. It's something very difficult. Sorry about that. Okay, so someone else, I think Benedicta. Okay, Benedicta, please, just 30 seconds, and then we can hear from Mary Cynthia and Light, and then we call it a night. So please, just very quickly, let's hear from you.
Okay, hi. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Okay, so I don't know what to say about this COVID thing because, everything was silent. Like, everybody was in their rooms, in their houses, nothing was happening. And it was during that time, too, that I lost my sister
Oh
to
my god.
ulcer in typhoid. So, as the world was being silent, people dealing in their own issues, and then this COVID thing happening in my house, we were grieving. So it was a whole lot because, we have to grieve silently.
Yeah.
We can't we can't go out, we can't do a lot of things. So we have to be in our houses and then silently looking at our own faces. A lot was happening at home, but we couldn't talk about it. We don't know whether to talk about the COVID or to talk about my dear sister. I think it was a whole lot of two things. So till now, I don't know what to say about the COVID because it was just a whole lot for me and my family. A whole lot.
I'm so sorry, Benedict. I'm so sorry you and your family had to go through that, same as David. I'm so sorry. I am really sorry. And wow, sorry about that. I can really imagine how you must have felt and how you had to go through that. It's so unbearable. You know, when you lose someone, maybe somehow some people find comfort in talking about it, but it was even so sad that you didn't even know how to respond to it at that point. I'm really sorry you had to go through that.
It's okay. It's okay.
So let's hear quickly from Mary Cynthia and then Light, and I think we'll call it a night. So yes, Mary Cynthia, let's hear from you very quickly.
Hello, guys. Now, I feel really sad about other people's experience, honestly, because I think I remember COVID with a lot of like fond memories. Yeah, because I feel like I bonded with my family a lot because we were always at home, we were always together. And then there was this my cousin that was with us. She was 6 at that time. She was really fun to be around and she had a lot of energy. So my COVID was more of like it was happy for me mostly because I got to really bond with my family and I got to learn some new skills. So I think generally the high note of it for me was like the time I spent with my cousin and my siblings. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. I'm so sorry, Light, you might not be able to share your experience. I really apologize. So please, the call is about to end in the next 1 minute. So thank you everyone who participated, and good night. COVID for me was also when my dad fell sick and eventually died from it. So I hope every one of us gets to heal from the things that he brought for us. I'm so sorry, everyone. Good night and God bless you. Bye.
Don't forget to hit the follow button and tap on the notification icon to stay updated. That's all for today's episode. To join our book club or stay updated on future discussions, follow us on Instagram and X at Jollof Book Club, Jollof with a double F. And thank you so much for listening.